That night was supposed to unfold like thousands of other concert nights before it. The stage lights burned bright, the band was in position, and the roar of the crowd filled the air without pause. Standing before them was an icon, a living legend whose mere presence was enough to make an entire stadium tremble. Elvis Presley stepped into the center of the stage with his signature confidence, a faint smile on his face, and an aura that never seemed to fade. Not a single one of the 20,000 people in that stadium knew they were about to witness a moment that would be remembered for decades, a moment never listed on any official set list, a moment without music, without choreography, without preparation. Just 3 short words, yet powerful enough to silence thousands at once. The concert began with explosive energy. The music surged forward, the crowd sang along, and waves of screams rolled through the venue. Elvis looked exactly as the world expected him to be: charismatic, commanding, completely in control of the stage. Every small movement drew cheers. Every note he sang pulled the audience deeper into the moment. It felt like a perfect night, or at least that's what everyone believed. Then, in the middle of one of his most anticipated songs, right as the music reached its peak, something strange happened. Elvis stepped slightly away from the microphone. The band kept playing for a few seconds, and then without warning, he raised his hand. The music stopped. Not a smooth fade-out, not a planned transition. The sound was cut completely. The thunderous cheering slowly dissolved into confused murmurs. People looked at one another. Some thought it was part of the show. Others assumed there was a technical issue. But as the seconds passed and the music did not return, the stadium began to feel quiet. Elvis stood still at center stage. He gazed out at the sea of people before him, 20,000 pairs of eyes fixed on a single man. No smile, no dramatic gesture, just a deep, focused stare, as if he were thinking about something far bigger than the concert itself. Then, he leaned toward the microphone and he spoke 3 short words. He didn't shout, he didn't dramatize them, he didn't explain. Just 3 simple words, but their impact was immediate. Within seconds, the stadium fell into complete silence. No screaming, no applause, no noise at all. Even the sound of a cough felt too loud. 20,000 people were utterly still, as if time itself had stopped. Later, some audience members said they could hear their own heartbeat. Others described chills running down their spine without knowing why. No one moved, no one spoke. Everyone just stared at the stage, trying to process what they had just heard. What were those 3 words, and how could something so simple silence 20,000 people at once? To understand that moment, we have to look at Elvis not just as a superstar, but as a human being. Behind the blinding lights and endless applause, Elvis carried an immense burden: the pressure to always be perfect, the weight of never-ending expectations, and the loneliness that often arrives precisely when a person is surrounded by thousands of people. That night, many believe Elvis was in a fragile emotional state. A relentless tour schedule, physical exhaustion, and mental pressure had pushed him into deep reflection. He wasn't just singing to entertain anymore. He was wrestling with his own thoughts. Stopping the music wasn't a meaningless impulse. It was a pause, a breath in the middle of chaos. And the 3 words he spoke were not just words, they were a statement. Witnesses later recalled that his voice was calm but heavy with meaning. There was no anger, no theatrics. It was that calmness that made the moment so powerful, because within it there was honesty. The audience, who had come expecting pure entertainment, suddenly found themselves facing something deeply personal. They no longer saw a distant idol towering above them on stage. They saw a man, real, vulnerable, and sincere. Some people in the front rows lowered their heads. Others reached for the hands of those beside them. A few wiped away tears without fully understanding why. Those 3 words seemed to speak directly to each person in a different way. What made the moment even more striking was that Elvis didn't immediately continue the show. He let the silence remain. 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 20 seconds. Time stretched unnaturally long, yet no one dared to break the quiet. Then, slowly, Elvis gave a small nod. The band prepared themselves again, and the music resumed. But from that point on, the atmosphere was completely different. The crowd no longer screamed the way they had before. They listened, truly listened. Every note felt heavier. Every lyric carried more meaning. The concert was no longer just a performance. It became a shared emotional experience. After that night, the story of those 3 words spread quickly. There was no official recording that fully captured the moment, no perfect transcript, and that's exactly what made it so powerful. Everyone who was there carried their own version of what it meant. For some, the words were a reminder of humility. For others, a call to be still and listen. And for many, it was the moment they realized that even legends have limits. Over time, this incident became one of the most talked about moments in Elvis's concert history, not because of the song he sang, not because of the outfit he wore, but because of his courage to stop and speak honestly. In the entertainment world, silence is often seen as failure. A quiet stage is considered a mistake, but that night proved the opposite. Silence can be the most powerful form of communication. Those 3 short words didn't need background music, they didn't need lighting effects, they didn't need explanation. They stood on their own, and that was enough to silence 20,000 people. Even today, fans still ask the same question: was the moment planned, or was it born from a sudden emotional impulse? There is no clear answer, but perhaps that uncertainty is what makes the moment timeless. Because in a world filled with noise, what we remember most often is not always the loudest sound, but the moment when everything suddenly goes quiet. And that night, in front of 20,000 people, Elvis proved that 3 simple words could be more powerful than 1,000 notes.